Mental Health Awareness Week starts today here in South Africa, and it goes all the way through to the 24th. And the hashtag that goes with it is kindness. And there's a lot that I want to say on this subject matter. I don't think it matters at all whether you are living in South Africa and it's whatever. Let's just make Mental Health Awareness Week and kindness an international thing, because I feel that where we are right now in month 2 and very much in the depths of this, I'm going to call it the big shift, but also / corona crazy, we are really in the thick of ourselves, in our emotions. And I think if there's people out there that have suffered from depression in the past, this is just like another day in paradise, not. But then you have people that haven't suffered depression, will probably be feeling it at some point, because there's just the other side of it, that we are pack people, we are packs. We move around as packs. We like to engage with people. We need to hug. We need to touch. We need to squeeze cheeks, and we just need to share that vibration, because it's essential for our survival. So when we can't do that, I mean, imagine a lot of us are actually with people in our homes, but there's a lot of us that aren't, that actually live on their own, not even to have a pet around, and we need to be mindful of that, which is why the act of kindness needs to be really, really strong, because during these really powerful times, which is the biggest trigger for these mental disorders. If you see that person walking on the green or somewhere that they're not supposed to be outside of exercise time, really, really exercise that energy of kindness, because that person might be on their own. That person might be going through a really bad day, and it's the difference of them doing something very bad to themselves, or actually just breathing a little bit of air in so they can continue. So I think what I'm saying is, like, have that more expansive awareness of what's going on with people, because right now this is the theme of everything: mental health. We really are in the middle of that, and I think with kindness, if you start to apply that at home, first of all, meaning for yourself, that will just naturally ooze out to everyone else. So yeah, kindness is a big theme. So be gentle with yourself, be loving with yourself and with others, because you are powerful. So your thoughts, words, actions, they will have a huge impact on people and the energy and everything out there. And a lot of this experience, this lockdown, has been a negative one. And I think that has just been triggered from people's fear. So imagine if we were triggered from a place of kindness and love. How different would this world look, yo? It would look so different. And it is honestly that simple. If each and every one of us kind of adopted that, there would be no mental health issues. There would be probably none of this going on. So it's just to take you into that little bubble right there, to really ponder the thought on how powerful you can be just by changing your frequency. So I digress a little bit from Mental Health Week, as it were. But I would like to talk a little bit about a subject matter. This is very, very close to my heart, because this is a path that I walked for a very, very, very long time. And I was a clinical sufferer of depression and anxiety. I suffered 3 very, very big nervous breakdowns in my life between the ages of 17 and 24. Big ones. And that was the breakdown and shatter of Marie Coverley. And then I had to, at that young age, put myself back together again. And this is why I do the work I do, because I did, just like Humpty Dumpty, except I did a better job than Humpty Dumpty, because I don't think that I have any cracks showing. I think that I'm good. So I really want to share through this video and other things I want to share this week. I want to show you my formula, because I think that I've got a good thing going and it might help you. So, mental health, depression, anxiety, all of those things. I mean, there's a long list, right? And, we can go on forever with that. But the bottom line is it all means separation. And what does separation mean? Separation means basically being separate of everything. You've separated from yourself. So imagine a shaft of beautiful white light coming down from source, coming down from above. And here you are, just like Star Trek, standing in this beam of light, and it goes all the way into the earth, okay? And then you're standing there really buzzing with this high vibrational light. And then all of a sudden you start to think like, oh my goodness, I'm coming out of this because I'm starting to not feel it as much. And you slowly drift away from that beam of light. And then all of a sudden you feel, oh my God, I'm depressed. Oh my God, I've lost my way. Oh my God, I'm drinking too much. I'm doing drugs, or I'm addicted to food, or I've got something bad going on, like a bad, violent relationship in my whatever it comes to you as. That is a result of being in this beautiful white light alignment tube. And then all of a sudden you drift away from it. And that is when we say you're not in alignment. That's alignment. That's as simply as it is. Get in your Star Trek beam, yo. And then everything's good. But we don't, do we? We kind of we drift off into the darkness a little bit. So when we heal, that is the journey back to wholeness that we speak about. That is the journey back to health and wellness and peace and joy and love. Because alignment in the body is here, your heart. Okay, so I have suffered with these illnesses, as I say, and it was a process, okay, because I only became kind of aware of my spiritual path properly when I was about 28. I'm 44 now. But all of these things I went through, I had no idea about spirituality or meditation or anything like that. I was just going through stuff and I had to damage control. But eventually, this path that I went through, because I went through the doctors, I went through antidepressants and all that kind of thing. I went through my 3 nervous breakdowns, just trying not to die, because I wanted to do that a lot. And then I found my light. And my mother, bless her, she knew nothing of this either. And she found me a yoga teacher and introduced me to meditation when I was about 17, 18, and then acupuncture. She took me away from the pills. I mean, she was just trying to figure out as well. And that's where it all started. And I started to rebuild myself. And I started to open the doors to energy. And I spent many hours in offices with counselors talking about my stuff, blah, blah, blah. Do you know that if you go to counselors and you talk about your issues, it energizes it? Which is great, but then you need to energetically clear it. So if you find yourself going to therapists or anything like that, and you wonder why you're not really over it as much as you thought you'd be, what actually happens is you just bring it up here and it becomes awareness. So you can look at your shit and go, okay, there you are. Didn't know that was you that was making me feel shit. But then what do you do with it? You actually need to clear the whole energy field. So you are clear. So you can come back into this perfect tube of white light, your Star Trek beam, and be back in alignment, back in your heart. But a lot of the counselors and psychotherapists and all that kind of thing, not all of them, because some of them are very powerful out there. They do the spiritual thing and they do the mental body thing. You know, what actually happens is they do 2 in 1, and then you do have that experience where you're like, wow, I'm fully healed. But talking about our stuff energizes it, and it doesn't always help. So this is something to ponder if you are wanting to work on yourself on a much deeper level and find that light that I speak about. Because it's a whole process, you know, and we work, like I've spoken before, when you are suffering with mental illness, which energy body is it coming from? Of course, it's coming from the mental body, which is how you think. So what you believe, all right? So what you believe and what you think is exactly what you're going to create in your life. Because if you believe that, you're going to be sick all the time, or if you believe, oh my God, I've had this illness for most of my life, I'm never going to get better. If you believe that, because that's your mental body speaking, you are going to program your body and your energy field to create that. And then you're not going to be able to move forward. It doesn't matter what emotions you heal. But if you believe that I am not my illness, I am a pure being of light, and I'm expansive, and I'm high vibrational, and I never get sick, then that's exactly what you're going to create. So you can understand how the mental body is very, very powerful. So when you create your scenario through what you believe, thinking for what you believe, when you create that scenario, then you create an experience. So if you believe that you're always going to have no money, or if you believe that your businesses are always going to fail, or if you believe that you are only worth that much, which is why you have shitty relationships with boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, then you're going to create an experience. And then from that experience, you're going to experience certain emotions. And then from the emotions, you can see it's just a knock-on effect. So for me, when I go and I work with somebody, I want to take the belief system out from the bottom, because that is what holds up all of this. So now you can understand the power of the mind. And it can work for you in a positive way, or it can work for you in a negative way. And that was my process. I started doing drugs when I was 12, 13 to just try and get that connection to click in. But I just went into a darker and darker and darker and darker hole. And I believed that my life was worthless. And I experienced so many things that backed that up in my life. But then when I started to work with meditation, and my mom took me to acupuncture, I started to tap into the energetic system of myself. I came away from the counselors. I started to work with things that couldn't feel, touch, whatever. And I felt better. I was a clinical sufferer of depression, and this is not a lie. I started to meditate. The first week I could barely do 3 minutes because I had such a monkey mind. The second week I did 5 minutes, and that was a lot. And I was like, woo, that was hectic. And then by the third week, I managed to meditate 3 times in that week. I remember at 10 minutes a time. That was a lot for me. And literally the next day I woke up, and I remember I will still refer to it now. It's like I woke up and I was in this expansively good mood. And I've been in that expansively good mood for about 15 odd years now, 15, 20 years, because that was meditation, because I went into something beyond my negative mental body, which is where the term mental illness comes from. Why? Because depression and anxiety is brought and birthed from the mental body. Change how you think, change what you believe, and then you will, positively, and you will live a very, very different life. And I'm going to refer to now the virus and everything like that. I do not believe in it. I never believed in it from the get-go. I don't get sick. Truly, I don't. I used to be sick all the time. I don't think I could complete a week when I didn't have flu or tonsillitis or, cystitis or bladder problems or infections deluxe. I was always sick. I never get sick now. Why? Because my vibration is high, and I keep it that way, which means corona, cancers, HIV, any of them will not be able to attach to your energy field. Why? Because they are low vibration, those illnesses. We don't need those. But you don't have to be low vibration. If you keep your vibration at the highest, nothing can stick to you, because you're just pure light. And if anything comes in, if you do have a little bit of a cough and a sneeze that morning, because you're so aware, you're like, oh, okay, what does that mean? Okay, so sore throat. Oh, where am I not speaking my truth? You pick up the message from the body, and then you'll clear it, and then you realign. And by the afternoon, you're 100%. No antibiotics needed. Nothing. And this is how it works, because my whole bevy of work, again, go to my website, read up on it. I shan't bore you with the extensive details, but I am so passionate about the belief system, see what I did there, of your body speaks your mind, because it does. And I've said this many times before, so I'll keep it short now. Physical body, mental body, emotional body, spiritual body. So I work with the 4 bodies because it's just simpler to understand it. There are many more, but let's just keep it simple. 4 bodies. Your physical body is a messenger. It's the last point of call for it to deliver you a message if you've forgotten them, if you've missed them all the other ways. Meaning, if spirit or the universe needs you to know something and you've just let it go past you, and then somebody else has said something to you and you didn't pick up that message either, and then you keep ignoring, the body will go, okay, give her a bit of shoulder pain. You'll go, oh God, that's a bit sore. Ignore it. And then what will happen is spirit will go, okay, make it a little bit worse. You go, oh, ignore that. And you carry on going to gym and doing your busy life. And then all of a sudden you go running and you twist your ankle, and then you're actually laid up for 6 weeks, which happened to me long ago, by the way. And now you're lying there going, okay, now I'm listening. If you looked up the meaning of what that body part is that you have hurt or damaged, you'll be blown away, because I have never worked with a client or a person where I have looked up or diagnosed their emotional meaning of the ailment they have in their physical body, and it is not applied to them. I don't care who you are. It always is spot on. And that is your body speaking your mind. So your body is a messenger. So if you apply this to mental health and you've got depression going on, okay, so do you get pain in your body in relation to that depression as well? Anxiety. When do you get it? Anxiety is here. That's all to do with the heart. You're like, Anxiety is a fear of the future. Depression is an emotion from the past, as is guilt. So all of a sudden, just through listening to this blog, you are given a beautiful mind map, a blueprint, a compass on how to navigate what your body's telling you. So your physical body is a messenger, and it will tell you, like your mental body will show up here as well. It'll tell you what you're believing is negative because it's not in alignment with the body. And then you get your emotions, which is your heartache, your fear, your frustration, anger, bitterness, whatever you call it. All of those things will sit in the body, okay? Because again, your body's the messenger. And then when you get to your spiritual body, that's how you connect to source. And we all do that different ways because we're all different religions. We all have different spiritual belief systems. Some work for us, some don't. But we all connect to source in a certain way. Now, the ticket is to get all of those bodies in alignment. Spiritual beliefs, spiritual everything. Emotions, all balanced. And then your mental body, all good, tickety-boo. Physical body's like, meh, I'm on holiday. Don't need to give him a message or her a message to do with anything because everything's in alignment because I'm stood in my Star Trek beam, just loving light and just enjoying being in this space, in the heart space. But when that all goes to shit and everything's all messed up and back to front and you can't get out of bed because you're depressed and you don't want to be here anymore, something's gone wrong here. And your body's saying, hey, yo, let's get up, let's fix this. We're not happy, but you ignore because part of depression is thinking that there is no way out. This is the depths of impending doom. There is no way out. And that is part of it. So in a way, depression can have you like this because of what it's made up of and how it makes you think. But if you chuck all that to the curb, kick it to the curb, get your earpods in, plug into some meditation, straight away your vibration changes, it comes straight into your consciousness, straight in here, and you will feel better. You will feel better. And I'm going to repost some of my free meditations that I put on YouTube. I'm actually going to release another one this week just for a real quick energy juice to help you with this kind of stuff. Now, on my website, one of the things that I do work with, because I work with very many different modes to get you from here, which is a limited way of living. The head will always provide you with a limited way of living. This is where all your negative stuff sits here. And you think, oh my God, it's not possible because I'm living in a box. To going into the heart brain, which is a limitless way of being, okay? So that means when you're in here, you just infinite possibilities and you're like, yeah, there's flow. I can do this. This is awesome. You feel safe. You feel happy. You feel healthy. Everything's great. However, if we experience traumas in our life that has prevented us from getting into our heart. So for example, this is how the heart wall works. You can actually go through something very negative in your life and experience something not very good or not very nice. And then it hurts, right? It hurts here. We don't want to feel that. So we build a energetic brick wall around it and go, okay, well, we're just going to keep you safe, heart. I'm probably going to live in my head because that's better. Don't want to feel that again. So something else happens. You put another brick wall around your heart and then more and more you've moved into this body here, the head. And then more and more, you're settling into your comfy sofa here. And more, it looks like you're never going to leave. So this becomes less possible to get in. And then before you know it, you are just ridden with, oh my God, I'm just so not happy. Anxiety, depression, bipolar, any of those issues, it's all created from up here. So how do we get you to your happy place? Well, you've got to break down the walls. So we need to go in here and we need to clear and find out what each energy wall that you've put up there, what's it all about? You need to acknowledge it, and we don't need to talk about it for hours on end. We need to just say, oh yeah, that wall was there because what happened to me at 10? That was shit. Well, we make sense of it. We basically say, okay, well, that's why you act the way you do. This is actually partly to do with this illness and that illness. Can we get rid of it? Yes, we can. And then we clear it. And then we just keep going around and round the wall until such time we've broken all those negative barriers down. And now you are allowed to just swim all the way from your head and just plop into your heart. And that is where you live. That's your heart brain. Because when you think through the heart brain, which is so much more powerful than the head brain, its consciousness is more powerful. The heart has its own consciousness. When you come into your home, because this is home, everything else changes. And that was my journey from all of those drugs 3 nervous breakdowns, all the horrible things that happened to me. That was the journey that I went through. And I'm living proof that I came from, I couldn't even go outside without having a ridiculous panic attack. If somebody looked at me the wrong way, I'd be like, I'd go into a panic attack. It was embarrassing. I'd spend 3 days in bed. And then I'd want to contemplate suicide because I just so miserable. That is what happened to me. And here I sit in front of you and there's nothing like that anymore. Why? Because I followed my breadcrumbs. You follow the light, and the light is just so powerful. Follow your Star Trek beam because it will show you the way. You get rid of all those traumas, and once you start to do it, you'll go, wow, that was so easy, because it is easy. It is. It might not be easy to remember the traumas, but that's just thought and memory. Those traumas have been and gone. They're not even real, because if I clap my hands like this, even the sound's gone. Think about it. It's a moment in time that goes, it's gone. It's not real now. What I just said 2 seconds ago, it's not real. It's been and gone. So where am I going with this? I'm talking about present moment. And when you're in that present moment, which can only be accessed from within the heart, that is where the whole of the universe just revolves around you, like literally it does. I tell my husband that the whole world does revolve around me, and it does. It revolves around you, and everything just moves around you, and it's just like it's like the Matrix, you know what I mean? Just moving with motion, and you can just manipulate, change, whatever you want. But it's got to be done from here. And look, I'm gonna keep it real. I have shit days, absolutely, but I sit with it and I love myself back into alignment, because somewhere I've come out of my Star Trek beam. I bring myself back in and I go, what's going on? What kicked me out there? Find out what it is. Oh, well, you can go. Clear. Acknowledge it. Love. Come back into this space, and then I'm hooked up again. And that is a really short version of how you come back into your center. But there are many different ways. You don't have to just do it the heart wall way. There are so many ways, and so many different people that work in so many wonderful ways to help you with this. But ultimately, it has to be an empowering process, because what you don't want to do is continually be going back to somebody because you're depressed and having them fix you. And then I'll see you next week for my appointment. But where are you going though? Because if you are assisting somebody to get better, like, put it this way, your children, if you have a child, they're not going to crawl for the rest of your life. I'm not going to carry my 19-year-old son on my hip, am I? Because the thing is, he should have learned to walk by now. He should have learned to feed himself and get himself an effing job and get off the sofa. Sorry, that's what's going on right now. But you see what I'm saying? He's got to get his life. He's got to go out there and do things. Because if I haven't taught him how to walk, feed himself, provide for himself, and what have I been doing? What have I been doing? And that's no different to your healing process. You know, it's about empowerment. It should only be a certain amount of time that somebody goes heal, assists you, helps you, makes you realign. And then you have access, because you're in your own heart, you have access to just maybe do that for someone else. But you see what I'm saying? Healing, this is a very, very fine line, where people will watch videos like this and go, right, okay, I'm going to go and heal. But then be very mindful that you don't put one crutch, meaning maybe antidepressants, move those out the way, and then put in another crutch, which is a healer that you go and see every single week. I mean, my motto is if I'm seeing you, if I'm seeing you for a certain issue and you're still with me for 6 months, I'm not doing my job, because you should be on your own 2 feet by then, because you're just as powerful as the rest of us, if not more so. And we need to recognize that in each other. And that is where I bring all of this back to the center again, to kindness and recognition and acknowledging one another and seeing each other's light. And if you can't see their light, help them to see their light. That's why I do what I do. So I'm going to post a couple of other videos this week to assist and guide a bit more and share with you my process on how I got myself from the darkness and back into my Star Trek tube, because that's, at the end of the day, is what it's all about. So yeah, you got to have fun with it as well. And as much as it's dark and as much as emotions can be really heavy, you have to have a lightness of heart. I worked on a boy many years ago in Zimbabwe, and he was a young boy. He was 18 years old. He had like a Frankenstein scar on the back of his head. He had a tumor removed, and they didn't know whether he was going to live or die. And he came to my house for a healing, and he came with a friend of his, and he didn't know. He was very scared about the energy work. So he said, isn't it all witchy stuff and everything like that? I was like, absolutely not. And I explained exactly what I explained to you guys. I said, this is how it works. So anyway, we had a laugh about it. And I went into my room and I put my daughter's witch's hat on. And I came out and I did the whole session with this witch's hat on. We laughed all the way through it. But we also cleared some very heavy, dark, serious emotions that have been causing this tumor. FYI, he's alive today. But it's like, you can't be too heavy about this. Yes, we need to respectfully acknowledge what you've been through, but you know what? Time to actually get to the lighter stuff, yeah? Anyway, this is a longer post than usual, but it has to be because mental health is a very expansive subject matter, and it's all of us have it, or are going to have it. So yeah, hopefully something in here has assisted you. But thank you so much for listening, and I will love you until next time. Peace.